webinar, we're going to look at our operating system and how we actually work through self-sabotaging. Because here's the thing, the truth is, we all kind of cutting ourselves short on a daily basis. We have, I mean, I can say myself as somebody who's has been meditating for over 2 decades, trained in different kind of modalities of healing and yoga. I thought in one point that I will be done. And it is always very humbling to realize that you're never done. It's always, there is always something else to open up, to overcome. And the main thing to overcome is, I would say, our self-sabotaging forces. And we're going to go a little bit about this mechanism. So this is a framework for increasing our mental fitness. It's called positive intelligence. And I tap into it as a coach, as a life coach, a couple months ago. And to my surprise, it's actually shifted my way of operating on a daily, momentary way. Here's the thing. If you are a meditator, you increase your mental capacity and your positive outlook in a certain time of the day, and then that battery of mental capacity dwindles through the day. And unless we actually intercept and start to actually reframe our experiences on a daily basis, on a momentarily basis, intercepting our self-sabotaging conversations through the day, we will actually eventually basically are struggling to kind of overcome and to actually manifest the thing that we really want to create in our lives, whether it's a career change, whether it's improving our relationships, creating our relationships, or defining our purpose and self ability to actualize our dreams, make them a reality. So let's look at some of the mechanism, and I'm going to share my screen here. So in terms of mental fitness, there's 3 core mental muscles to thrive in these challenging times. Let's look at mental fitness definition. It's our capacity to respond to life's challenges with positive rather than negative mindset. And the impact is, I would say, peak performance, peace of mind, increasing our wellness or well-being, and improving our relationship. Even the ones that are difficult, improving them as well. So what is it based on? The research or the foundation of mental fitness program, this mental fitness program is based on breakthrough originated by Stanford University researchers that included the fields of neuroscience, positive psychology, cognitive behavioral psychology, and performance science. Performance science means accumulative practices of high-performing individuals, like athletes, like leaders. So again, this realization of self-sabotaging, the mechanism of it, and how to overcome it to increase our mental fitness is based on neuroscience, cognitive behavioral psychology, performance science, and positive psychology. And this is all these components makes it into the factors that increased positive intelligence. Research include results from hundreds of CEO and their executive teams, Stanford students, world-class athletes, that's the performance capacity, and I would say over 500,000 participants from 50 countries. And also, it tapped into millions of the world's largest leadership community of chief executive that is under this organization called YPO. So the thing is, the root causes of our incapacity of self-sabotaging is actually very simple. The example that I give is at the root of 1,000 colors, there are only 3 factors that makes or blend our reality like colors. There's only 3 primary colors that make thousands of shades: red, blue, and green. It's actually red, blue, and yellow. I don't know what the green is. The results of factor analysis research, only 3 core muscles are at the root of mental fitness. So intercepting our saboteur self-sabotaging, creating more of a sage perspective, or increasing the right brain capacity for positive intelligence, the capacity for self-command. So through this research, 10 saboteurs were identified that, and each one of us has a different manner or way to self-sabotage. We carry different characteristics. There's 5 sage powers. We're going to go over that. So again, the 3 factors for increasing our positive capacity and decreasing self-sabotaging is saboteur interceptor, sage, increasing sage perspective, and boosting the power of our self-command, self-capacity. So the main saboteur that we are carrying called the judge. We have all sort of like different characteristics of judge. My judge, for instance, is somebody who's the perfectionist, the one that says, this is not good enough, this is not perfect. And I would say, even though I consider myself quite successful in the field that I chose, it's been coming short because the judge has always come and tell me that I am not matching the rate or matching the level that I'm supposed to match. And for me, it's caused, that's why I started meditating. It's caused anxiety. It's caused always self-doubting at times, even though that I'm seems like quite confident kind of as a person. I have a lot of self-doubts. and each one of us has that main judge characters. You can call it, you can name yours, whoever it is. Just notice the conversation that you have, that you're judging yourself, others, or circumstances automatically. That's created from the negative capacity of our mind. So let's look at the other 9 saboteurs that we all carry. So there's like 9 saboteurs that are basically accomplishing, they are like the partners of the judge. There's a controller, hyperachiever, restless, stickler, pleaser, hypervigilant, means always worry about stuff or always in anxiety. There's an avoider, the victim, and hyper rational. Now, in the link that I provide for this webinar, there was a link to self-assessment, and I will put that link actually right now in the chat if you want to self-assess your saboteurs and see who are the ones that are the most prominent. Usually we look at the 3 or 4 main self-saboteurs that actually are hijacking us. So let me just, I'm just going to take a moment to go into my other screen and just see if I can find my and put the link in. And you don't have to do it. You can do it right now if you want. You can type it in, and it's about 5 minutes. You can type it in and see if it's what results you'll come up with. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. Just going to put it in. So you can actually just copy this link and either now or your own time, just go to self-assessment. Okay. Let's move on to our next slide. Okay. So this assessment basically will give you the capacity to understand the characteristics of your self-sabotaging characters or entities, as I call them, and understand. And it's not something new. You know that they exist, but the framing, as simple as it is extremely profound to actually identify those factors that actually eliminate or prevent us from actually being the top of our game. Now, let's look at so saboteurs are actually connected to the brainstem, the limbic system, parts of the left brain, while the sage perspective is associated with the middle prefrontal cortex, empathy circuitry, and parts of the right brain. And what mental fitness or that framing does, it's basically start to boost the sage perspective or the positive side of our mind, the creative side. Because here's the truth is, in terms of negative to positive thoughts, the rate, and this is science, the rate is 3-1. The 3 negative thoughts to 1 positive or creative initiative. So our saboteurs actually motivates us through negative emotions, while our sage perspective or our wisdom creative side motivates us through positive emotions. So when we look at negative emotions, we are a lot of time motivated by fear, stress, anger, guilt, shame, insecurity. And from time to time, empathy will kick in, curiosity will kick in, creativity will kick in, passion and purpose. But here's the thing, if we're not intercepting our saboteurs ongoingly, this is the hard truth. If we're not actually changing our habits on a daily, momentary basis, these emotions of empathy, curiosity, creativity, passion, and purpose will show up randomly. So saboteurs may generate success. I know plenty of people who are successful, but if I ask them if they're happy or they're enjoying their process, there'll be somewhat different answers about it. And there's a lack of gratitude or even realizing that the journey itself is enjoyable. So there's a lot of success, but there's not really any empathy or creativity or enjoyment or the thrill of the ride itself. While in the sage perspective, you generate success in terms of clarity, ease, and flow, and you sustain a certain appreciation and happiness and joy and fun while you're doing it. So here's the question. Are saboteurs or negative emotions good for us? Is pain good for us? So pain, momentary pain is important for us. For instance, in the example of putting our hand on a hot stove, is to take your hand immediately away from the danger or to pivot quickly. However, our saboteurs wants us to keep the hand on the hot stove, maintaining that perpetual, I would say, anxiety or disturbance. It's like, and that's not very good for us. So negative emotion only helpful for 1 second as an alert signal. Stay negative hurts the ability to see clearly and respond with empathy, curiosity, creativity, or lesser focused action. Negative emotions are our saboteurs. Our saboteurs, or these entities, generate certain emotional response that prevent us from happiness, you can say, or from the right relationship, or from the ability to make a career that we're really generating ourselves and our talents in a way that is meaningful for us. Again, the three colors, the three factors of any mental fitness are saboteur interceptor, increasing sage perspective, or the right brain capacity for creativity, empathy, curiosity, navigation, and action, and the ability to self-command, to train our mind to self-command versus just being reactive all the time. So the sage lives in the region of the brain associated with positive emotion, peace and calm, clear-headed focus, and creativity. Also looking at big picture and big impact, you can say. So all these operates from a sage perspective or from the wiser self of ourselves. So the factor of a sage perspective is that every outcome or circumstance can be turned into a gift and opportunity. Again, intercepting our saboteurs, bringing in curiosity, creativity, and action, and increasing our capacity for self-command. So how does it work? So you can say that 10 seconds, even just 10 seconds of pausing and doing some positive IQ repetition, which is a form of meditations or breath, even that little interception will create a change or shift from a saboteur perspective to a sage perspective. So if you feel negative, you need to stop, or negative emotions, you are in a saboteur mode. You are self-sabotaging your experience. So you need to stop, do some positive IQ or positive intelligence reps, such as I can demonstrate here now. So just closing your eyes, just starting to connect to the breath and inhale and exhale while labeling the breath as an anchor for your sensations. Your mind will drift many times, even just 2 minutes of that. So when your mind drifts, you just label where did it drift to. So it can be like something like that. It can be while you're breathing, you can label everything. You say, for instance, your experience, your sensation can be experienced like that. Breath, 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 annoyed, yesterday, 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 nose itching, breath, 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 actually, I'm increasing the pace a little bit, much slower, but you can understand what maybe one kind of PQ reps looks like. And just by that, it will shift the fork in our neural system into a path of a sage perspective. And any challenge or any anxious situation will be converted to a gift and opportunity. So you can ask the question, is it really possible to just shift from saboteur to sage response even in tough challenge? The answer is yes, but the speed depends on the shift or on the mental muscle strength that you would develop. It depends on the capacity, like the same thing of going to a physical gym. It depends on how much we actually trained our mind to make the shift and the respond. So the more we actually getting into the habit, it's not that the voices of the saboteurs will be eliminated, but their impact and the interception will be, the impact will be smaller and the interception will be faster. So lasting positive change require 80% of a mental capacity that provides the 20% of sage insight. It's like a download, but massaging that capacity, training the mind to a certain fitness to shift from negative to positive requires on practice. So as a life coach that uses this PQ, positive IQ system, 15 minutes a day for 6 to 8 weeks will start to shift that negative capacity into a positive sage perspective. You need to actually shift the habits and start to, as we said before, intercept our saboteurs, increase sage perspective, and basically develop the capacity for self-commanding versus being sabotaged by our, or hijacked by our saboteurs. And that will require some sort of repetition or daily practice. So success in that requires intense initial practice. So I want to invite you to this positive intelligence program. It's a 7 weeks duration. It's watching 1 hour weekly video. It's 15 minutes day of practice on an app. You're gonna get a reminder every 2 hours that you need to intercept. You can or cannot read the principle of positive intelligence. I, for instance, didn't read it. Just the program itself kind of shifted my mental capacity to basically to tap into the sage mode. And included in these 7 weeks is once a week, 30 minutes of positive IQ, positive intelligent coaching in a group setting, and on the 6 weeks, you're going to have an individual coaching session with me. So before I'm like, so there's a deadline for this, but I'm gonna stop the share for a moment, and kind of wonder if you have any questions. You can either type them or you can voice them as you wish. Let me see. Let me see how. You can unmute yourself, and I know it's a lot of information to absorb. So if there are any questions that you have, please go for them. Kathy, do you have any questions? Or is there some?
No, this is Kathy. No, I don't have any questions. I'm just trying to soak it all in for the time being.
Right. How did it land for you? I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, it's very surface level, so I can understand where you have to dive deeper into, how do you stop those saboteurs from even getting into your head to begin with. So,
Right.
yeah.
It's a rootless. I mean, they are there most of the time, I would assert.
Yeah. So, and then there's the factors of what, maybe you're, because I was like making notes of which ones I feel are kind of pertinent in my life and situation.
Uh-huh.
And some of those, and also not wanting to fall into the victim mode, but
Yeah.
feeling like others have put me into that role, so to speak. Not really a role, but I don't want to be the victim. But anyway, so just kind of getting off on a tangent, and I forgot what you were asking.
No, it's good. It's good. I mean, so you actually identify that one of your saboteurs is a victim.
Well, it's more of, gives you the excuse to do things that are not good for your soul, I guess we'd say, just on a journey of becoming a better person, or overcoming a lot of obstacles, put it that way. So,
right.
It's not what people do to you, it's how you react to it, kind of a thing.
That's correct.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
There's also avoider is a big one there, but anyway, I'm just listening and making notes, and I let you continue. I guess this is a program that you're recommending that.
Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't actually put my time into this if I didn't think it's something it's something that for me as someone who's like considering myself positive in general, I was surprised how much I am still in the vice of my sabotaging forces. And unless I'm intercepting, because I really want to, I really want to actually make people's lives better, with less anxiety, more successful, impactful, increase my clients and peers' peace of mind. My goal is to bring peace to the world, and as well as to create more self-expression and beauty in the world. So, and I'm surprised how much, here's the thing, this system it's like where science starting to caught up with the mystical yogic philosophy, let's put it this way, and it is working. So
Yeah, I guess understanding how our brain works and where do all these self-sabotaging notions come from and why, and that,
exactly. I mean,
yeah.
you're getting it. So I mean, I will just say that I offer this 7 weeks once a month. Um, the deadline to register is Saturday, August 12th. Um, actually, it can be till Monday the 14th. Monday the 14th, we're gonna have like I would say an orientation to the program. The program is starting on the 19th, August 19th. You may know other people that may benefit from it as well. I'm gonna post this recording actually on my newsletter so people can actually have access to the presentation. If registered today, it's $875. If registered by the 14th, it's $995. Register after, it's $1,150. I'm just giving like pricing brackets. I'll be more than happy, not just you, if you have other people that you may think are interested, if you want to kind of have a 30 minutes free coaching sample of this, including you, actually, you more than welcome to go on my website, which is yourpurposework.com, and just go on my calendar.